How do the French eat pastries, drink wine, enjoy cheeses and baguettes, and still stay slim and healthy? No, it's not magic, it's their culture. And today we're breaking down the lifestyle habits of the French that make it possible. And while I love the Philippines and take pride in our local dishes and culture, when it comes to healthy eating habits, we can definitely learn a thing or two from other countries, and that includes France. But before that, if you're new here, hello, I'm Ciara. I'm a certified nutritionist on a mission to help make nutrition and health feel simple and practical for everyone. I also dabble into nutrition cultures around the world, especially the Philippines, where I'm from. So if you want to get in on that, please feel free to subscribe to this channel and stick around. So while many of us stress over calories, restrict carbs, rush through meals, the French are doing the opposite and thriving. So what are they doing differently? This is what the French paradox is all about. The French paradox is an observation that people in France tend to have lower rates of heart disease despite eating more foods rich in saturated fats like cheese and butter. This can be confusing because saturated fat in high amounts has long been associated with heart disease risk. Yet the record in France isn't as high as those in the US, the Philippines, and other parts of the world. While this might seem contradictory, researchers believe it has more to do with their overall lifestyle and food culture, like eating patterns, portion sizes, stress levels, and food quality, than just the fat content alone. So what exactly do the French do? And how can Filipinos and other countries get on board for better health? We'll break it down into 6 main habits, what the French do, and what we can do as well. A quick disclaimer, of course, not all French people follow these exact habits. These are just general observations based on common cultural practices. These are just what some or even many tend to do, but as always, it's not a one-size-fits-all description. Now let's get to them. One thing that the French do that many of us forget to do is eat slowly. Filipinos sometimes rush through their meals because they're either in a hurry to get back to work or they're so hungry that they just want to get food in as soon as possible. Or if the food is really good, they'll scarf it down so fast that by the time they're done, they realize they overate. But with the French, even if they have a busy day, it's part of their culture to take the time to sit down and have their meal, eat slowly, and savor each bite. They don't really use their phones or multitask while eating, which is honestly such a great habit. This helps with how they digest their food, and they're able to naturally control their portions so they don't overeat. So our main takeaway here is, the next time you eat, slow down. Chew your food many times, then swallow before moving on to the next bite. The slower you eat, the easier it will be for you to know when you actually feel full and satisfied. I know it's harder than it sounds, especially if you're not used to it, but with consistent practice, it will feel easier and more automatic over time. The French are also known to eat their meals at consistent times, usually 3 per day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some would have their breakfast between 7 and 8 a.m., lunch between 12 and 2 p.m., and dinner between 7 and 9 p.m. Snacking is not as common there as it is in other countries, especially with adults, so that automatically cancels out binging on chips and processed packs. If they do have a snack, it's very intentional, not an everyday automatic thing. Since the gap between lunch and dinner is the biggest, lunch would be their main meal, which would have some veggies, protein, carbs, a bit of fat, and sometimes a small dessert or fruit. It would be balanced and satisfying, especially compared to lighter or rushed lunches in other countries. And it would sustain them until dinner time. Then dinner would be a bit lighter, maybe something home-cooked. By having a routine, their bodies know when to expect food, which helps regulate their appetite and reduce cravings throughout the day. The brain also thrives on a steady supply of glucose, so eating at consistent times helps maintain their energy and mental function, especially in the late morning and afternoon. So what we can take away from this is to set regular times for your meals. Set times for breakfast, lunch, and dinner revolving around your current lifestyle and schedule. Also, feel free to throw in a snack if it's hard to fast between lunch and dinner, and try setting a regular time for that too. In France, they focus on fresh, seasonal, and locally sourced ingredients. Home cooking is common, and they make their meals from scratch with fewer additives. Ultra-processed foods are not really dominant in their daily lives. Even the indulgent foods in France, like cheese and bread, are often artisanal and minimally processed. In the Philippines, home cooking is also very common, which is great. But fast food is also extremely common because they're convenient, affordable, and palatable. It's also part of French culture to have a lot of fruits and veggies. They tend to build their meals around that, so rarely do they have meals without any kind of fruit or veggie. In the Philippines, we build our meals starting with rice and some kind of meat, then fruits and veggies come as an afterthought, sometimes even optional. Our takeaway: choose quality over quantity. Choose whole, minimally processed foods, even the indulgent ones. A small piece of real cheese can serve you better than a big serving of its ultra-processed alternative. In France, physical activity is a big part of everyday life, but not in the way you might think. Rather than hitting the gym or doing a HIIT class, the French get their exercise in through their usual daily activities. Walking, biking, commuting, errands, leisurely stuff. It's all integrated and built into their routine, so it feels natural and not like an extra chore. They prefer to take stairs over elevators and walk instead of drive. It helps that urban planning in French cities often supports walking and active transport. Now, obviously, in the Philippines, it's hard to walk far distances because it gets so hot outside. It's definitely more common here to use the gym or get into a sport to stay active. But on days when you can't get any kind of workout in, there are other ways to naturally incorporate extra movement into your day. Pace around your room or office, step outside to walk after a meal, do household chores, dance to some music, or add a light stretching session to your morning or night routine. These don't take much effort, but they all count. So if in the Philippines, work-life balance is considered a luxury, in France, work-life balance is a cultural norm. In France, pleasure is seen as a part of health, whether it's food, conversation, or downtime. This is why meal times are not rushed. They rarely have meals on the go. They have nice long lunches and dinners with family or friends. Eating together strengthens emotional well-being and social connection. And these relaxed moments help manage stress, which we all know is key to good health. Now, maybe you don't have time to have 2-hour lunches with family and friends often. But in the middle of a hectic day, you can still find tiny pockets of joy, like fully enjoying your lunch, having a nice cup of coffee in peace, catching up with a friend, or making time for a personal hobby. So we all know that the French love their wine, bread, cheese, and chocolate. And how they have this freely, without any guilt, is that they embrace moderation, not restriction. There's not much of a diet culture in France or obsession with calorie counting or food guilt. They've mastered the art of balancing indulgence with moderation. They have small portions of indulgent food like cheeses and chocolate, but majority of their diet comprise the balanced, healthier meals they prioritize. So no food is entirely off limits. All foods can fit into a healthy lifestyle if eaten with intention. In other countries, we have this all-or-nothing mentality where we put ourselves on a strict diet for a week and then binge on the weekend, and then repeat the vicious cycle. What we can learn from the French is that health isn't just about rules. It's about how you feel, live, and thrive. And that includes nourishing yourself with healthy food 80% of the time, then allowing yourself the indulgent, joyful food 20% of the time. And that's a wrap on the 6 lifestyle and mindset shifts we can learn from the French. They're a great reminder that healthy living shouldn't be restrictive. It should be joyful, balanced, and sustainable. Despite their rich, indulgent-sounding food, the French enjoy some of the best holistic health outcomes in the world. And the key? Real food, eaten mindfully, with natural movement and a sense of balance woven into daily life. If you found this inspiring, you might also enjoy learning about the Mediterranean diet, another powerful, feel-good way of eating. I've got a video on that too, and I'll leave it right up here so you can check it out next. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more nutrition, wellness, and motivation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.